All right, welcome to another edition of JTJU, where we all try to be just a little bit better at the game of Clash of Clans. In this episode, we've got Destroyer versus Slot 19 in a what the format, in that the plans laid out for Destroyer, while thought to be well thought out, eh, we're not so much. So instead of mourning our losses, even though we had a victory in the war, instead of mourning this loss for Destroyer, we're going to take a moment and do a post-mortem on it. See if there's lessons to be learned for others out there that might help us get a little better in the future. So, as always, let's do the first step and take a look at slot 19. Okay, so here's slot 19, and as usual, the first thing we want to do is kind of get a feel for the defense's setup versus the town hall level. He's level 8. He's got what looks to be level 4, 5, 5 on the air defense. His whiz towers are 4, 4, 4. His cannons are 6, 6, and 5. Archer towers are 8, 8, 8, 9, 9. And I think that's everything that we need to worry about. So I don't know about you, but when I click around and try to get that information and okay, what does that mean? It's always kind of hard because it all blurs together, levels of the troops versus level of the defenses, which ones are which levels, and it's like, and you got to kind of think about it a while. Well, the one way we solve that here is we actually kind of use a visual marker board and move these little dots around to help us kind of see it at a glance. So basically what you're visualizing, big word, is the defense in purple, and then Destroyer's troops, both ground and air, versus that. And at a glance, you can kind of tell that for Town Hall 8, he's almost max on his ground stuff, while the hogs for Destroyer and his whiz are okay. Probably aren't the strongest attack angle, right? He's going to be fighting uphill with his hogs, and usually if you're going to go ground, I would say do that. But on the air side, he actually has a one-level advantage against two of the three main components. On the air defense towers and the whiz towers, he's got a one-level gap. 5 versus those guys, Town Hall 8s versus Town Hall 9, 7 stuff. But then the archer towers, which are numerous, are max. So it's not going to be a pushover. Those archer towers will be nibbling away at him as he goes. But I think it's the way you've got to go. And with our clan, at least, when we do our first attacks, it is a sign. So he's got to take this matchup. He can't go, cherry picking, looking for something better. This is his assignment. He's got to do his best with it, and then figure out where to go from there. Given that, we gave him this plan. The goal was usual T-Duck, to pull out the clan castle, ignoring the king because it's an aerial assault, as we just discussed. So we thought, hey, let's simplify the pathing, because I see here, bang, this guy would actually come down if this was still there. So we said, oh, let's take that out with some hogs and trigger at the same time. Brilliant. So we set that in stone and said, oh, then we'll take that out on the way. This will be great. And then we'll just drag over with an archer sitting here pinking away at I think that's the lab. And then once he gets there, we'll drop a distract giant at 3. The clan castle troops should turn and fire. We'll then launch stuff into their back with the kill team and kill them off. Once they're down, then we'll move into the main thrust, which will start with a vanguard balloon here at 4, which will float in slowly, taking the area of effect shots from the wizard tower. And then behind that, we'll dual deploy at both 5 spots the 2 halves of the balloon force, so they both come at the same time and try to overwhelm this spot. Rage spells would be cast here and here to do the pull in to get to the air defense quicker, because we know this is a long lap, so we're trying to speed it up. And then here too, we're trying to get into the whiz tower quickly and take it out. Once that's going on, then we'll switch to actually the next step, deploying the clan castle balloons up at 2 o'clock. It's a 3-step hop to the whiz tower here with a rage spell here. Mediocre on that, and then supposedly, because this guy should have gotten here by now, then we'll continue around the horn and get this guy down. It's a little long path. I'm not so sure about this, and actually, in hindsight, as I look at this base or this attack plan and know that the outcome wasn't that awesome for Destroyer, I can kind of see that the pathing was long. Too many hops to certain targets, too long a flight path for the balloons. So probably it's going to be one of the things we notice when we watch the actual replay. But once it's going on, then one of the other things we try to do is use the remaining ground forces here to distract. If and when this guy's got up here, we drop those out, pulling the archer tower over this way so the balloons can fly in. And we take the king down here for cleanup, because one of the other issues with balloons is it takes too long to clear everything out. So, there you have the plan. What really happened? Let's take a look. And there's the result. I guess it could have been better, or worse. Could have been 49%, but let's take a look at the actual battle. So it begins as planned. The hogs run in on the archer tower. That Tesla wasn't anticipated, and all wizards getting there that fast is also a bad deal for the hogs, who almost take out the archer tower anyway, but still don't. So that's kind of a fail. That's going to blow our plans for the pathing up. But the drag continues. There they come over. The distract drops down. That looks good. So the T-Duck is actually functioning pretty well as the giant wanders in, and we only lose one wizard out of a whole clan castle. That's pretty good. Well, wizard plus a giant. But so now we'll move into the next step. The balloons go in. Notice we didn't drop a vanguard. Watch the damage done by the wizard tower due to that. They're almost down to 20% health, most of it in that group, after that one wizard tower. So that's a fail on our part. The pathing or the plan to deal with that was not very good. It allows that air defense tower to one-shot every one of the balloons because they're so weakened now, and plus then the other bomb comes in. We had a similar issue up top at the 9 o'clock whiz tower. Again, we didn't have enough time, but by the very fact that we didn't get the air defense down in center, now the clan castle balloons are also in trouble. That's not supposed to be there, and they die off as well. So at the end of the day, we had multiple issues on pathing. We had issues with the vanguard usage, a variety of problems. It's a worthy opportunity to look for ways to get a little better. And I think, if I was going to actually pause and try to switch up what we did, I'd probably look at something more like this. So rotate the trigger all the way around to 2 o'clock here. Still use the 4 hogs. They'll bound into this cannon. That's actually the pathing drawing. They'll go cannon to the mortar. But notice there's really no supporting cover up here, which is what I missed in the initial plan. This would be a free run for the hogs to here. Now here they'll actually get under fire by the whiz tower, but they might actually, 4 hogs could get into that whiz tower and take it down. It might happen. Because again, what he's really done well is he's got the defense on the outside, but on the inside he's a little soft. So that would have been a lot better, I think, to have as a trigger point. It would definitely have gotten the clan castle out. They would have come this way. And there's nothing wrong with then coming, say, like up here. Since we blew it up, you could just put an archer right here, drag him over this way, and then do the distract giant in, and then you could still do that same 3 depth. So you could just have circle kill team right here. But once that was done, then I think the pathing would shift over as well to this. So instead of coming in here and coming in here, kind of rotate it a little bit. Let's use this to our advantage. We noticed the pathing through the Tesla coming down to here and then coming up and letting this guy hit it all the time. Let's go right in on it. So right here to right here to right there with a rage spell potentially right here, maybe, or not. So I might actually move a rage spell down. But that's at least a little more direct route. And then in parallel with that, we could drop some... Actually, I take it back. So what I'm saying here is the 2 5s could drop at the same time. So then this air defense tower's got to pick, right? Because the hogs get here and take this down. The flight's going to be almost directly in here. And with this rage, they're going to get pulled in better. This guy will get pulled in a little bit better once he's here. So they'll both have support getting this down. So they'll both meet right here in theory. Some of them will be alive and roll on to this point. Meanwhile, once those are deployed, then I'd come in with the 6. This is a 2-hop more standard. Look at that path. It's a lot cleaner. You can use the rage spell here to pull through. And you'd use you could have the vanguard here, which would be a lot easier. A 2-hop vanguard. This guy's right here. And then the other one's behind it. Bang, right in. So that would be some of the tips that I would tweak specifically this plan. But I think the big thing to walk away from at the macro level is we want to keep our hops to our initial attack point simpler. We want a more direct flight pass. And, when you have the opportunity, use your trigger point to take out some of the pathing to get yourself a more direct flight in so you can vanguard those wizard towers. That'll about do it. So until next time, good luck in your wars, and clash on.